Well, hello, Say What's on Your Mind podcast family. It's Greg Spin, and hopefully all is well with you right now. Today on the show, we have Mr. Gary Null, and he's speaking out against mandatory vaccination. How do you feel about that? Let's see what Gary's talking about. Let's see what's on his mind right now.
Thank you. Right now, I can only speak about 2 minutes because we have a meeting with the governor's top health aide in here. I brought a series of reports. We have a number of physicians and attorneys who are going to go in and meet for a half hour. The reason we're all here is in today's New York Times, the front page of the business section. I brought a copy of it with me. I'll show you this a little later. It's about how much money the pharmaceutical companies can make off these vaccines. I wish that we had pulled back and understood that the debate should not be about whether you're going to mandate a vaccine for healthcare workers. We missed the point. I'm a scientist. I'm a PhD in human nutrition, public health science. I'm a professor of graduate sciences. I'm a research scientist in anti-aging medicine. The very first rule is never assume that where you're beginning is the right place. Take a step back. We've assumed that vaccines are safe and effective. Nobody's even questioning. No one in this building here has asked a basic question. Are vaccines safe? If so, what is the proof? Are they effective? If so, what is the proof? I'm going to ask 2 more questions later today. Are vaccines not safe, and what is the proof? Are vaccines not effective, and what is the proof? If I can find proof that vaccines are not safe and effective, then what about the hundreds of thousands of people working in the vaccine industry? What about the journalists at the major networks? Why haven't they been on this story? Why are we pumping tens of billions of dollars into one of the biggest health frauds in history and making people the guinea pigs? Now it's the nurses, the doctors, tomorrow will be the school teachers, then the police officers, then the firefighters, and then it's in your home. I say the government should not be allowed to come in your home and have a healthy body given a deadly disease-producing drug. Show me in the Constitution where you as a healthy person are forced to have a drug. Could you imagine if they said tomorrow you must take chemotherapy, but I don't have cancer? Well, we decide you take it. Or you have to take statins, but I don't have a heart problem. Well, we decide you take it. Well, I don't have flu, and I don't want their drug. And until such time they can show me science, real science, not the science they bought and paid for by hiring scientists. I'm talking about real science for real people, then we have to say no to these clowns. I'm not here because I respect the legislative process. I'm here because I respect the people who put these people in their positions of power, and they're abusing that power. I'm going in there, and I'm going to have a conversation with this clown he's not going to feel good about.
Wow, Mr. Null is really fired up, huh? Well, go get him, Mr. Null. Stick around, everybody. We're going to have a perspective from a millennial on this topic right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We have Aiden from the Northwest United States, and she wants to say what's on her mind about this topic. What's happening, Aiden?
Hey folks, so I don't know if you have all been online lately, probably have, we're millennials, where else were you spending our time, There has been a lot of hostility online lately. At first, it was because of the whole vaccination craziness, at least in the Pacific Northwest. There's a measles outbreak in King County. I believe it's in King County, which is like kind of near Seattle in that area. And there aren't a lot of cases, but people like to think mob mentality and get together and freak out. And it's not just been people freaking out about it, but there's been just a lot of aggressive, hostile comments and threats being made online about it. So I've seen threatening comments towards parents who don't vaccinate their kids, towards the kids themselves who aren't vaccinated, like, if you hurt my kid, I'm gonna hurt your kid, like that kind of thing. Just like a lot of hostility, people saying like, I wish there was a vaccination for stupidity for not vaccinating your kids. Now, I'm not saying I choose not to vaccinate, or I do choose to vaccinate. I have a pretty neutral stance on the issue, but what I do have a strong opinion about is this hostility. I think that the hostility is ridiculous. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to change the mind of the people who don't vaccinate. It's not going to make them want to vaccinate. In fact, it's probably going to make them, want to vaccinate even less, because you're forcing their opinions out there into the world so harshly. I think hostility in general, hate creates hate. Love creates more love, and we definitely need more love and peace in the world. So I just feel like this is another thing where we could easily come together, we can make some change, we could be positive, we could, be inviting about it. But a lot of people are being super hostile, aggressive, and mean about it. And what is the point in that? There's no point. It's not going to make you, if let's say, for example, if I was angry about the situation and I posted on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever I did, a threatening, hostile comment towards someone who doesn't vaccinate their kids, it's not going to make me feel better about my situation or my fear. A lot of, anger and hate stems from fear. And if you could just accept, I fear this, and this is scary for me for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that I should close my mind off to it and hate it or that person, right? I think, a big aspect of racism is fear. We have been conditioned our whole lives to think that, darker skin is kind of associated with bad, or, scary or threatening. Those sorts of terms are kind of associated with darker skin, while light skin is associated with more pretty and nice and elegant, that sort of thing. In the way that racists fear dark-skinned people, and then they hate them because they fear them. It's kind of a similar thing. So I don't know. I don't understand why people feel the need or the desire to put their hate out into the universe when that's not going to produce positive results. It's literally just making things so much worse.
Yes. Well, I must say, Aiden has a lot of great points. What do you think? Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll be bringing you much more. We could use your support. There's probably a button right on the page or a platform that you're listening to this podcast from, and you can tap that and you can support this podcast so we can continue to bring you this great content and continue to grow this podcast and continue to get the real out to the world. You know what I'm saying? The real topics, the real subjects that concern everyday people, right? From everyday people to everyday people. That's us, right? I'm Greg Spin. We'll catch you on the next episode, okay? Thanks again for your support.